Hey guys, this is Market Update. So a lot of the on-chain data and markets data in this video is showing us that this bull market still has a long way to go. And so if that is the case, then we remain long and we keep buying for as long as the price is within our own risk tolerance. And I'll show you some data around this in this video. Plus, what is the real trade in crypto, right? Because altcoins are going crazy right now. 20, 30% moves in like days, 200% moves over a matter of weeks, right? So a lot of altcoins are just re-rating from their bull market bottoms, which is, great news, right? So we'll look at that and some of the data around that to really understand like what we should actually be doing right now in crypto. So if you do trade, check out Bybit, $30,000 deposit bonus. You can just click the link below if you make a deposit. And this is the last weekend of the crypto course, 21% discount. So just go into the checkout, type BTC, I'll link it below, and you get 21% off. Okay, so look, this is classic Bitcoin price action, right? Longs and shorts all getting wrecked, essentially. So we broke out, we did print 100 trades, which is great, 100,000 Bitcoin, right? Six-figure Bitcoin, absolutely insane. If you've been around in Bitcoin for a while, it's like, just something we dreamed of, right? But it's actually happening. And this is the first time ever that we actually done it. So what do we expect? We expect to sell off from that. This is just how markets work. Price discovery, you reach an important price milestone, you go right through it again, right? Everyone gets humbled, and then you actually just over time start to, test it, and then you really break through with proper spot buying and the asset re-rating. That's it. We are going through a massive, massive level. And so you have to expect this volatility to happen. It's just what will happen in markets when you're breaking through this level. But the key thing right now, I think, is buy spot. So you don't get, because we're in price discovery, which means volatility up and down. So if you're in spot, you can't get stopped out. If you're in leverage, you have to be way more careful. You're either trading very, very short term and trying to scalp these kind of volatile moves, or you're actually just waiting for a pullback and trying to get in at a little bit of a, kind of a better level, right? Because this is actually from top to bottom, a 13% pullback. Which is a decent pullback in a bull market, but you can get 20, 25, 28% pullbacks. If you're looking to take leverage trades, and they're the kind of better areas to get in, right? Because if you're trading breakouts, that's easy to get a kind of a dump on that breakout as well. So I think we're in the position now where you either just like trade short term and you're just trading that, or you have to just be buying spot for the long term. I think if you're in the middle trying to make a bit of money, you don't really know what your strategy is, I think that's where people are going to get wrecked in this bull market. Now that Bitcoin has crossed 100K, it's going to $1 million per coin and then on from there. There's just nothing else that can happen. You go from 0 per coin, literally giving it away, and then it's now 100,000 a coin. It's not just that though, right? It's just the narrative around it. Everyone is kind of just coming onto the fact now that, Bitcoin is this thing. It's just not going away. And so if it's not going away and it's worth 100,000 a coin and it's worth 2 trillion market cap, and it's literally just got the most successful companies ever created in human history above it, and it's still younger than them and it's still got room to go, then it's just going to leapfrog each of these companies one by one. And it's eventually going to leapfrog gold, because it is the perfect asset. And so you're looking at going from 2 trillion to 20 trillion. So 10x, 100,000 a coin to $1 million a coin. Now, that's going to take a long, long time. You can have bull markets and bear markets, but it's kind of irrelevant, right? Because Bitcoin is a savings asset. We save in it for our retirement. That's really the only thing to save for, is when you can't work anymore, you can't pay for your lifestyle, you need to draw down on savings. And so you've got this asset, the trade of our generation, which is getting larger and getting de-risked and getting a better investment each and every day. And you've still got a 10x over our investment time horizon. Most people are young watching this video, right? So from now until you retire, this is the thing that will outperform the other investments that you could make, which is property, S&P, and NASDAQ. There's nothing else. This is the trade of our generation. It's the best risk-adjusted trade. So if we look at this is this bull market, true market mean, and AVIV. This is very similar to MVRV, which I've often used. This tells us Bitcoin has a trend. It has a trend rate of growth. When the price is above that, then MVRV goes up. When the price is below it, it comes down. So essentially, you're looking at the trend of Bitcoin, which I think goes from 100,000 a coin to $1 million per coin. So it's a 10x from here. Do I care if the price is a little bit high or a little bit, below the MVRV and the trend? No. I can just invest in that trend. I can invest in every single point in that trend, and I'm just going to make a 10x from here, and then way more than a 10x on all the Bitcoin I've bought previously. The only thing that matters is you don't want to get caught out, because these bull markets, new entrants get caught out. They come in, they've not bought Bitcoin before, and they come in and they think that they have to get, a lot of Bitcoin now, and that's when they start bidding up the price. These areas where MVRV peaks are the areas where Bitcoin is the least affordable. And so if you are a bit sensitive on price, you don't really want to be buying too much here. Now, the research that I've done suggests that the only time you really don't want to be buying is when MVRV peaks up to this red box. Everything else is kind of okay, because if you look at the actual nominal dollar price of the Bitcoin you're buying at these levels, it's not that bad. It's only that last 20% of the bull market in terms of time, not price, because it can go up huge amounts there, but that last kind of the last legs of the bull market, things are getting very, very overdone. So for me, with MVRV under 4, and AVIV is the same thing, you can see it just above my head, not even in the red zone, I just don't see any reason not to keep buying Bitcoin here. And even when it is in the red zone, it usually hits and hits and hits like this. And so we have time. So we're not even hitting the red zone yet. And so I just still think we're early in this bull market. Now, various altcoins are doing really well right now and doing crazy moves. And I think I'm not a Bitcoin maxi. I think that there are investments. Investments have an amount of growth. They have a potential, ARR, annual rate of return over time. They have a certain size limit or, kind of addressable market that they can get into. This isn't about loving BTC or anything else. It's just simply an objective fact that if Bitcoin fulfills its potential, it's going to be worth well over $20 trillion, right? In terms of the premier A1 worldwide capital asset. So if that is the case, which is the addressable market for BTC, then it goes to 20 plus trillion, and it's more than a 10x from here in terms of what it eventually gets to. And so that's just what I think is objective reality. And I think that's the best risk-adjusted trade. It's not that I love Bitcoin or anything else. If there are other, potential assets you can invest in them too. But they have different addressable markets, right? So I don't think Ethereum is world money. I just think it is money for its system, it's collateral for its system, and it has a huge addressable market, which is the tokenization of everything. So that makes a lot of sense. But it's not Bitcoin. It's a different addressable market. And then you look down the list at others and you think, what's the addressable market here, right? It's a smaller player within a market that's very competitive. And so you're going to get, for smart contract chains, probably 2 to 3 big winners that kind of sift out from the others, and the others are just going to fight away until the death and they won't make any returns. I just think that's how the market's going to go. So I'm not saying investing in altcoins is bad or good or anything else. We're in the time, the part of the cycle now where you're going to get these crazy re-ratings of altcoins. Which you can trade, and it is a trade, right? You either invest in assets or you're trading altcoin moves within the peak of a bull market. They're very, very different. The way a lot of people do this is they get into altcoins because they see them moving. They want to make money, so they're in the altcoin. They don't know the addressable market. They haven't done any research really on it. And then the price drops 20%. And then they ask me questions like, should you think I should get out? Because what they actually wanted was to make money. But that's not how to approach the market. You have to approach the market from what is actual objective reality, which is what is the addressable market of this asset? What would be a relative price for that asset versus other assets? And should I buy it or not? That's the only way to approach. But of course, during a bull market, everyone gets in. They want to buy things because they want to make money selfishly. I mean, we all want to make money, right? But if you're approaching the market from that strategy, you're going to get wrecked because you're in things that you shouldn't be in, or you don't know about, or you haven't really come in from a fundamental perspective. So altcoins are doing really great right now. And of course, during the latter stages of a Bitcoin bull market, which we're in right now, very clearly, then a lot of them will outperform BTC over that period. But is that the best risk-adjusted trade for an individual who is just has a job and needs to save money over time? This is where I think Bitcoin can get to right here over the rest of the bull market, which is somewhere around 150 to 200,000, something like that. I don't really know. I can't predict, right? We may go higher. I don't know. I don't know how we're going to get there, but this is the latter stages of the bull market. And the reason being is because we have crossed through the previous all-time highs. We've hit these new all-time highs. This is the latter stages, the final stages of the Bitcoin bull market, which is typically the alt season. And so for me, actually, as a mainly Bitcoin investor, alt season actually signals the tail end of the bull market, which is both good and bad, because the next stage is for the next bear market, which I think will come. So what we need to do is look at some assets versus BTC, because what happens is you get these assets that just go crazy, right? Tron has just gone like 100% in a week or something, right? And you think, wow, I need to get involved, or what's this asset? But if we look versus BTC, right? And BTC is really your benchmark in crypto. That is, I think, the best risk-adjusted trade in the world. It's a trade of our generation. It is getting less risky as it gets bigger, right? Because there is no ceiling to world money, right? It's not like an app which has an amount of people and has profits. It's not a security. It is world money, and so it has no ceiling. Valued in dollars and valued in goods and services, which become more abundant over time. So it's the trade of our generation. It's the thing. Now, you can outperform it for sure over periods, right? MicroStrategy has outperformed it over the last year or so, right? Altcoins outperform it during cycles. That's fine, but are you investing in those or are you trading those? This is Tron, who's had a huge move recently, but ultimately, this is Tron valued in BTC. It's not really going anywhere. So as an investor, why would you buy it? As a trader, it's different, right? If you're trading it and you're thinking it's going to get a narrative and attention over the short term, I get it. But it's not really, if you're investing, I think the only real way to invest is you've got 25, 30 years left until you retire. So you need an investment portfolio that grows bigger and bigger and bigger over time, so that by the time you retire, that portfolio is actually de-risked and less volatile over time, but you can survive off percentage moves that aren't that big. That's the ideal. Bitcoin is the trade of our generation, because by the time we retire, 20 years time, this thing's going to be even bigger, even more de-risked, less volatile, and we are now getting these huge returns. It's ideal. So if we're investing, and look, Tron has done really, really well versus dollars, but if it's a choice in crypto between Tron and Bitcoin, it's not really outperforming. It's literally just going sideways versus BTC. And so considering this is more risky and has more risks associated with it, why would you buy it? So that's the issue. If we look at another coin, again, this coin has done insane over the last few weeks and months, right? It's just literally gone straight up, right? You can see that huge move here. But versus BTC over time, it's not really doing anything. And so it kind of goes up and down versus this line, right? And so as a trader, maybe you can actually search for this and say, well, if we're in an alt season, then alts are going to outperform BTC for potentially the next 6 months or 12 months or something like that. However, that's trading and not investing. And you don't want to get caught. And so when you are trading, you're opening yourself up to a lot of risk. The risk that that move actually doesn't happen, the risk that you're in the wrong coin, a lot of more specific risks that are associated with individual coins versus BTC. So again, as an investor, over the long term, if you're just saying, I just want to put some money away for 25 years time, then look at this, it's not outperforming. And so all of this is kind of irrelevant to you. So you have to understand who you are. Are you just trading a little bit right now for cycles? Or are you actually investing and just wanting to put that money away? Even ETH, which is a fantastic ecosystem and extremely strong and very, very relevant today. This is actually classic of a lot of coins, where what you have is this outperformance as the coin is new, right? So as a coin comes in, it's valued very, very low. And in relation to Bitcoin, it's going to outperform as it just kind of monetizes into what its market cap should be for the addressable market that it's in. But since 2017, the thing is kind of sideways, right? You're not, again, you've got these bear markets where you underperform, bull markets where you outperform, right? And so you could say, well, potentially, there's still some outperformance here for ETH. It seems to be making some higher lows versus Bitcoin, right? So some outperformance there, but it's a struggle, right? It's a struggle. If you've bought some high and bought some low, are you really outperforming BTC? So the previous charts don't actually mean that much, right? It's what the price of the thing is now versus Bitcoin. And what do you think the future 10, 15 years would be? So I think altcoins can outperform BTC short term, but if you're looking at a 20-year time horizon, right, then how do they really outperform continually over 20 years? Because their addressable markets are smaller. They aren't world money. And so they can't outperform over the longer term. Now, outperforming over the shorter term, you may think, well, that's great as well. But when you are buying things that are smaller, they have much higher risk. So yes, Ethereum, if you bought in early or if you bought in during these bear markets, you have outperformed your BTC. But that's Ethereum. It's literally the best at what it does, right? It's the market leader by a country mile. So if you're going into even smaller coins, you're looking at coins that even have more risk. And then let's say you buy 10 coins, 7 of them are going to underperform. So you've got an investment in 7 and then 3 outperform. But by the time you've got your losses from those 7 and the wins from the 3, are you outperforming BTC anyway? So I think it matters who you are and what you're doing. You can outperform Bitcoin if you're trading altcoins during this part of the cycle for sure, but it's exceedingly risky and you make a few mistakes and that outperformance gets chopped away. And I think if you're a long-term investor, there is only one logical thing to do, which is just dollar cost average Bitcoin. And then if you want to trade 10% of your portfolio or something like that, trying to, take advantage of these swings. But for the vast majority, if you're not a trader, why would you want to do that anyway? You can just literally get into the best asset in the world, which is obviously BTC. It's obviously desirable to trade these assets that move a lot very short term. And I'm not saying don't, but just what are the risks here, right? What's the actual risk adjusted trade here? It's obviously Bitcoin and Bitcoin in a bear market, right? Because you're seeing altcoins re-rate 100, 150, 200%. Right, very, very sharply. That's awesome, but I'm making way more than that from the trades that I made in the last bear market in Bitcoin. I was buying down here at 16,000, right? And so I'm making, 450% on that trade. So you want to make 450%, why not do it in the world's best, most desirable asset and not altcoins that don't seem to be outperforming Bitcoin over the long term, right? What are you actually buying here? You're buying the desire to make money. That's not good. You want to invest in the asset, the fundamental strength of the asset. Bitcoin objectively is the best thing. There's no one talking about strategic Ethereum reserves as much as I love Ethereum. So strategic Bitcoin reserves, that's not going to happen anyway. But in any case, it's BTC that has that. Nothing else. So you want to make 450%, it's 500, 600%, which is going to turn into almost 1,000% by the end of this bull market. Maybe wait till the next bear market and make sure you're active buying BTC. I'm not Bitcoin maxi. It's just objective reality that I'm seeing here. And I hope other people kind of agree with me or not. Maybe you can let me know. Anyway, 21% discount to the course down below. $30,000 discount or a deposit bonus to Bybit down in the description as well. I'm James, this is Mazzy G. Cheers for watching and I'll see you in the next one.